I'm 17 years old. My experience with the paranormal has been about a recurring dream that goes back as far as I can remember. I am asleep in bed when this man appears and starts beating me with a hammer. All I can see of this freak is a tall, black, smoky figure that seems to float. I don't know how I know it's a man, I just do. But the image of the hammer is crystal clear, though. The faint light from off an outside street light reflects off the shiny metal head. The fear is unbelievably real as the hammer swings. I cringe in anticipation of each incoming blow as I try to get away. Even though it's always the same dream, you think I get used to it, but the fear never lessens. I run and he chases me, but as soon as I get out the door and into the hall, the dream is over. I even tried locking my door, but that made a nightmare worse. When he attacked, I couldn't get out of the room. In the throes of panic, it was a struggle to get the door unlocked. I tell you, I was scared to fall asleep. My mom told me when I was little, she looked in on me one night and there was a black shape next to my bed and thought it was my dad standing over me. Turned on the light, but no one was there. My parents divorced when I was 12, Mom remarried, and we moved into my new stepdad's home. The couple who live beside us are super cool. We don't have much, so they make sure to shower us with gifts at birthdays and Christmas. Make spending money too by cleaning their yard and walking the dog. One Saturday, my sister and I came over to help do a spring cleaning. One room was their office, and all the walls were posters of her standing next to people with the words paranormal on them. I asked what they were, and she answered that she was a writer of ghost stories and a real-to-goodness ghost hunter. Wow, we had no idea. My interest was piqued, and in excitement blurted out, "Our house is haunted." Shrugging her shoulders in a disinterested way, replied she was not surprised, for there were many spirits up and down our block. Looking out the window, she whispered, "Many stand in front of my house, just watching." I could tell she was perfectly calm, not afraid at all, so I put on my brave face and asked her about my nightmares. She smiled and called them night terrors. Said it was like an alarm system going off because a burglar has broken in. No need to be afraid at all. Just listen. She explained that there were good people and bad people, and it is the same with ghosts. Told me it sounded to her like a bad ghost is coming to me while I am sleeping. Your subconscious is picking up on the negative energy from him and is trying to project its terror so you will wake up. A night terror is just an alarm. When you wake up, the ghost goes away. Wow, it actually made sense. It finally allowed me to get a grip on it. It's not the dream I should be afraid of. It's the ghost in my room. Now I can make myself wake up faster where I'm not beaten by the hammer so much, and afternoon naps help keep me refreshed. I am very grateful to have a neighbor who listened to me and believed something scary was going on. She taught me a lot. My night terrors didn't start until we moved to a small town in West Virginia. Can't blame the house because my family had to live in a hotel for 2 weeks until our home was ready, and that is where I had the first dream. On the first night, as a matter of fact. The dream starts off with me in a coffin being lowered down into the ground, and I can't move or speak. The top of the coffin was completely open, giving me a full view of the people watching me being lowered. The women had white caps on their heads and looked to be wearing high-neck long-sleeve shirts with long skirts. A couple of men had on tall hats and knickers with white shirts and short black jackets. I have never seen people wear clothes like that. And they were dirty. Their clothes, dirt on their faces, hands, and all their teeth were yellow and crooked. Some looked angry while others looked sad and scared. Once I was set about 5 feet into the ground, they each had large rocks and started dropping them on my body. I was mentally screaming at them not to bury me. I was only trying to help. Because it was known that I had been taught the secrets of healing from my grandmother, a family begged me to help an ailing boy. But the herbs did not work. He had died, and the townsfolk blamed me. Believing me a witch, They were burying me alive using stones that would keep me in the ground forever so I could not escape. I was terrified as my body lay broken and I slowly start to suffocate from the weight of the stones. I wake up just as all goes dark and the last breath leaves my body. Because I'm gulping in air too fast, I'm hyperventilating and have to calm myself down, trying to remember it was only a dream. The dream would repeat itself every couple of weeks. It made no sense. You can imagine the job it did on my mental state. Once while at school, being so tired, I fell asleep, not something I normally do. I had the dream. The bell ringing indicating the end of our class woke me. How much time had passed? It's a 50-minute class. The last thing I remember was one of my classmates passing out graded papers, and that was in the first 10 minutes. I roughly guessed being asleep for at least 35 minutes. It seemed impossible to me. The dream always ran about 10 minutes, or so I thought. And there was something else too. I couldn't put my finger on what it was, just that I never felt comfortable. It was a feeling like I had to watch my back or something. When I went to college in another state, the dream stopped, just like that. And I felt safe. Strange, but it was the truth. Came home for the holidays and the dream was back the very first night. I don't know what it is about that town that causes this repeating nightmare or the feeling of danger. My parents still live there, but it's rare for me to go visit because I know what awaits me when I fall asleep. To this day, I don't know for sure if it really was a dream or if it was real. Either way, it had terrified me. The dream starts off normal enough where I'm watching myself sleeping in bed. Boring, right? At first, it is. Then a shadow appears outside my bedroom window. It startled me because the next second it was inside. I'm thinking cat burglar here because it looks human in form. Never occurred to me it could be anything else. Being so dark makes it impossible to get a good look at it. He approaches my bed with a peculiar walk, almost like watching someone on stilts. He leans down inches from my face, and let me tell you, that creeped me out. As he leans back, it sounds like he is breathing in or out a long breath. I watch as he lowers his face to mine again and repeats this gesture. After watching him do it a few times, my stomach churns, and all of a sudden, I don't feel good. I must have made some type of noise for it swung its head around fast, looking straight at me. All I saw was yellowish red eyes. I wake up panting and feeling sick. It was just a bad dream. A few days later, the same dream again. It becomes routine, almost on a cycle of 4 to 6 days. As I have more of these dreams, I get the impression the intruder does not know I'm there watching unless I draw attention to myself. As more time went on and the dreams continued, I started having trouble getting up in the mornings. Felt like I wasn't getting enough sleep. And weaker too. Had to quit track because of it. Then there were their parentals. Thinking the worst, they thought I was getting into drugs or something to account for the symptoms. When I insisted it was bad dreams, they sent me to counseling. It didn't help. Out of curiosity and because I wanted to prove to myself they were just scary dreams, decided to do a test. I always wore the same pajama outfit to bed, shorts and a t-shirt. I decided to change into my sweatpants and a different shirt. A couple of days later, the dream came. The shadow was at my bedside. I crept closer to get a better look at my clothes. To my astonishment, I was wearing the outfit I went to bed in. This time I know I said something like "holy crap," because like flash, the shadow gripped me tightly by the throat, about cutting off my breath, and lifted me at least 2 feet off the floor. I desperately tried to pry the fingers loose that were wrapped around my throat, while at the same time kicking at it with my feet. It brings me close to him, enabling me to get a better glimpse of his face. Even though I'm scared out of my mind, my curiosity made me want to see. It kind of looked human, except the eyes were very slanted, and they stretched past the end of a prominent eyebrow, reaching the hairline. It caused the rather large eyes to be very narrow. It had to have excellent peripheral vision. If that was not wild enough, the pupils had a burnt orange glow to them. When it opened its mouth to speak, the teeth looked normal, its voice sounding like fingernails on sandpaper as it whispers, "See me and die." I wake up in a cold sweat. That was too real for comfort. To get some sleep, I begged my older brother to let me stay the night in his room. I felt safe there. As time went on, I was getting less and less rest because I was afraid to fall asleep in my own bedroom. It all came to a head one night. While lying in bed, I saw the shadow appear outside my window, and as usual, it was inside in the blink of an eye. But something's different this time. It clicks as I realize I'm watching the shadow from a different angle, as if I am on the bed. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but I felt my chest tighten in fear as it came closer. I think I'm awake. Terror kept me rooted as I remembered this warning. See me and die. I quickly closed my eyes tight, pretending I didn't see it. I kept repeating to myself, if I don't see it, it's not real. Hearing the floor creak in the spot near my bed, I know it has moved closer. With my silent voice, I beg for it to go away. Hot breath hits my face. I freeze every cell of my body and concentrate on keeping my breath steady. I want it to think I am asleep. If it doesn't think I saw it, it will go away. Have no idea how much time had passed. I just kept up the pretend act of sleeping. I hear a noise from outside my door. Sounds like my dad heading for the bathroom. Taking a chance, I scream for him. In the same instant, I open my eyes and find myself alone in my room. The door slams open with my dad asking what's wrong in a worried voice. Another nightmare, I admit. Shaking his head, he mutters before leaving, "Took 10 years off my heart." As soon as he closes the door, I turn on the bedside lamp. Somehow managing to stay awake until the first light of dawn, I finally fall asleep. The alarm going off a couple hours later was torture. I did not want to wake up. I know I need to do something. Knowing my brother was saving money for a car, I approached him with a deal. I've been getting savings bonds from my aunt on every birthday, and after checking online, had over $1,600 worth. I offered him the money in exchange for sharing his bedroom with me. At first he said no, but I coaxed him into the idea of owning a car now instead of waiting another year or longer to earn the money. He grudgingly agreed. Our parents had no problem with it. I never had the dream again. When my brother went to college 2 years later and left me alone, nothing. I can't say if this qualifies as paranormal, but it was definitely weird. And that says something because I don't believe in spirits or any of that other stuff. It all started with this dream I had where I was on a mountainside with others. We were lying on our backs, soaking in the sun, enjoying a break. I felt relaxed and knew these people around me were my friends. The dream didn't last long, maybe 5 minutes, but I awoke with my face burning, went into the bathroom and splashed some cool water on it, and crawled back into bed. I noticed my face was really red the next day. A nurse at work told me it may be some kind of reaction to something I ate. Went to the pharmacy and picked up anti-itch cream for my face that started itching real bad as the day went on. That night, I had the same dream, but it was like part two. I was on the same mountainside, but now we were following the trail heading down. This time I was able to get a good look at the other people. Everyone basically had on the same outfit. They wore t-shirts with short loose fitting shorts and all the same color, a neon light dark blue. The shoes were ankle boots in dark brown. There was a joyful excitement in the air about what awaited them. I had no idea what it was. I was just going with the flow. That morning, I woke to my face hurting and went to look at myself in the mirror and saw it was peeling and looking really raw. What kind of fungus monster is eating my face? Made a panicky run into the emergency room. The doctor said I was sunburned pretty bad and my face was peeling a couple layers of skin because of it. Here he was lecturing me on skin cancer from the sun, and I'm looking at him in disbelief. We're talking the middle of winter here in Missouri. We hadn't seen the sun for a month, and I don't do tanning beds. Couldn't even use the snow burn theory. You have to have snow for that. There is no doubt in my mind that the sun in my dream has somehow burned me. I didn't sleep much for a couple of nights, partly because my face hurt and I was a little apprehensive. Luckily, I never had the dream again, keeping my fingers crossed because that sun was harsh.